This is very recent data about the agriculture scenario. Let's take first a global scenario. Total area under organic agriculture is 107.4 million hectare, where the Australia is leading, followed by Argentina, Spain. If we talk about India, then we may say that under India, the area is about 2.30 million hectare, that is 2% of net sown area. And the major states where organic farming has been done is Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra. Also, one thing, India has largest producers, about more than 13 lakh. And the Department of Commerce under Ministry of Commerce and Industry is holding this whole agriculture production, and NPOP is an apex body. And we know that organic farming is that type of agriculture where we need third party inspection. So here we need third parties, and number of certifying agencies has been increased to 35 in number. And as it is a certified term, or we can say that organic is a certified labeled word. So it has a logo, and I have also given here organic Indian logo, India Organic. So if we talk about that, why we're thinking of organic goat, then we can say that there are some reasons. First is awareness regarding health. So this is the case that the organic goat we are thinking about, and we say that the pesticides which we are using in the crops, in the fodder, in the feed of the goat is showing up in the milk and its meat. And also the 60% of herbicides which we use, and 90% of fungicides and 30% of insecticides have a potential to cause deadly disease like cancer. And it has been also seen that if we are eating meat of inorganic animals, or drinking milk of inorganic animals, we have an excessive level of omega-6 relative to omega-3, which further cause the problem of arthritis, cancer, depression, heart attacks, lot of problems. And also because 30%, it is mandatory in organic farming that our ruminants, small or large, has been given 30% of pasture grazing. So they again help to more concentration of CLAs, conjugated linolenic acids, and have some antioxidant properties. And if we talk about of organic goats, they are the healthy goats. They show less symptoms of die-offs. They have less symptoms of nutritional deficiencies. They have faster growth rates. They are healthier. They have healthier vigor. They have more immune. This is the reason that organic goats, they are preferable. First, I have taken opportunities and challenges, because let's see what are the opportunities and what are the challenges. Then we have to intervene. What are the interventions we have to give them? The opportunities what we find in the goats, we have already discussed, because a lot of the topics have been taken on goat, that they are prolific, they are adapted to different agroecological zones. We have 85% of marginal farmers, and they have marginal lands. So the goats have more potential on these marginal lands. And goats, they are the multi-purpose animals, meat, milk, hair, and so they have an important place in the economy. And they have an ability to browse on poor quality forage. They are more energetic efficiency. They have a milk production, have great under the crisis conditions. Also under this climate scenario, they are resilient. And these are the different properties. They are adapted to heat stress. They have global acceptance of the organic product like goat cheese, goat milk, goat candies, meat and fiber. This is the reasons. These are the opportunities that we can move towards the organic goat. And what are the challenges, what interventions we have to done, because we have to hold these challenges. So I have kept this slide forward, that we see what are the problems we have to face in organic farming. So we intervene. The most important problem or issue we have to handle in the organic goat production is the intestinal parasites, and to achieve adequate nutritional management. If we talk about the nutritional management, then we see that we have a different system of feeding our goat, like intensive system. Na? In intensive system, the what we as we know that land holdings are shrinking, fragmentation is there, more of the people are moving towards the urban. We are no urban dwellers. Then what the thing, then we have to switch to from extensive system to intensive system. And intensive systems, here we have to provide feed and supplements to our animals, stall feeding. Now this is very expensive. This is a challenge, we have to meet with it, because we can't stop the scenario of fragmentation. We can't stop the people to migrate from rural areas to the urban areas. So these challenges we have to face. And further, there are seasonal fluctuations of forage availability. We see that during the period of lush green periods, most of the period there are lush green, but May, June in the summers, and November, December the winters, they are the seasonal crisis of the fodder availability. And so this is the reason that we have to intervene in it. Second intervention is the recommendation of pasture. I've already told that 30% of the dry matter feed have been come. It is recommended. It's a recommendation. It is not choice of a farmer. It is recommendation. It is mandatory that 30% feed is from pastures. So this is sometimes this is not possible when the milking equipment is in the stable and the pastures too far away. These are the intervention we have to deal with. And high stock density in the animals, marketing facilities, and whatever more is the competition. When we are talking about organic goat farming, then we have also think about the export and the marketing. And there are very strict measure developed between developed and developing country. That is also a great. The competence are great when we talking about milk and meat of the our animals. So these are the challenges what we have to deal with. So we will slowly talk about this topic. And when we talk about organic goat farming, let's first see the standards and guideline, the procedure. What the farmer, if some farmer want to shift from inorganic to organic goat farming, what thing he has to done? First of all, registration, because that organic word is a labeled word, I already told, and it needs third party. So registration is must, because NPOP is the highest body in the India, which assigned a work of registration to some certifying bodies. I've already told you there are some 35 certification bodies have been existing till date nowadays. And registration is the primary thing, because organic is the labeled word without logo. We can't export. APIDA is the agency which deals with the export. So registration is the first thing. Then a lot of data recording is there. Then inspections are there, because there many inspections are there labeled. Then there is a labeling and there is a release for sale. And what is the procedure if the farmer is trying to move towards organic? First, he take the application form from the certified body, then fill it and send to them. Then they start screening, and there's a cost estimation. There is acceptance, of course. There's an agreement between grower and certification agency. And certification agencies, whatever the certification agency, mostly the standards are same, but there is little bit different between different certification agency, and they provide these standards to the grower. And when the grower get agree with those standards, then he have to pay his 50% of the cost. Then there is an agreement has been signed, and then the grower produce its product. It may be organic goat, it may be organic fodder, whatever it's planning, organic crop. Then the certifying agency has a full authority to inspect the field of the farmer. So inspections may be scheduled and may be announced or may be unannounced. So farmer should be ready for inspection anytime. And then there is an inspection report which is submitted to the certification committee. And when the certification committee get satisfied that whatever the procedure followed is fine, then they ask for the certification. And then there is a final payment. When final payment is made, then certification is granted. And whatever the farmer is they got it organic logo, and no it is then ready for the sale, etc. Whenever we talk about particular organic goat, then first of all, some standards are there, and the first standard is the breeding standard. The breed selection should be resistant, and the most resistant breeds are those which are adapted to the local conditions. So we have to promote the indigenous breeds, है ना? Indigenous breed which is specifically mentioned for that area, because we are talking about organic and we have nothing to do with the synthetic pesticides and hormones, etc. So breeds, whatever breed, it is vital and resistant to disease. It has ability to give birth naturally. The procedures that are not allowed, the embryo transfer not allowed, hormonal heat treatment not allowed, genetically engineered species, they have totally not allowed in the organic farming, and artificial intelligence in the animals is allowed. And if we talk about I have also attended some topics, and I have seen that the list of the breeds have already been given, and I just have a quick list. Bakarwali in Jammu Kashmir, different breeds have been given here which are resistant and which have some characteristics. So these breeds, local specific breeds, should be selected because they are resistant to diseases. No, the feeding standards. What are the feeding standards? The standards which we have to follow is that protein supplements when high energy feeds, hay at least 3 weeks before kidding the goat, female goat, and when the kids have to be fed for 45 days with natural milk, preferably maternal milk. But if maternal milk, because we know that goat milk, organic goat milk, is very costly, and if the farmer does not have offered to give organic goat milk to the kid for 45 days, it can also use the organic skimmed milks. They're available. Then I have already told you that 30% feed from pastures for at least 120 days in the calendar year is very much required, and 50% feed is from the same farm. We can't, this is also required, we can't change the farm because the sources may be different. So 50% feed from the same farm, this is the feeding standard for if there is inadequacy in the feed, and then 10% feed can be used from the conventional farms for the ruminants. Some supplements can also be given to the goat, like azola at the rate of 300 to 500 gram. Feed blocks can be given with the wheat bran, maize, barley, rice, mustard cake, 2% mixture and 1% salt has been used. Probiotics, which are they can be directly fed for the microbial, and prebiotics, a range of non-digestive dietary supplements which can increase the favorable organisms can be used for this. And the prohibitions here in the feeding is growth regulators, urea, animal byproducts, medicated feeds, hormones, chemically extracted feeds cannot be used in the organic goat production. So this is some techniques, because I have already told that urban dwellers are there, and we can't purchase organic feed because they are very costly, and so we have to produce our own. So there is a standards how we can go for the organic fodder techniques, because it is assumed that animal health can be maintained by prevention, because two major issues in organic goat farming is feed, fodder feed, and health issues. So it can be assumed that animal health is very much important, and prevention is better than cure is the main formula when we are dealing with the organic goat production. Have a quick look on the scenario of fodder production. We can say that if we talk about agriculture GDP, 25%, 25.6% is the contribution to national economy, whereas livestock contribution to 4.11%, and goat farming contribution is 8.4% to livestock GDP, and 20 million smallholder families dependent on the goat farming, and it generates the employment of 4.2%. India is first in milk and second in largest goat meat producing. So we can say these are the opportunities available here. So it is better to go for the detailed organic fodder production. And if we see the scenario of deficiency of green fodder, we can say that India is deficient in 11.24% and in green fodder, and in dry fodder it is 23.4%. Same is the scenario in J&K with with deficiency of 54% in green fodder and 67% in dry fodder. And most of the farmers, they 51% they give crop residues, which are come under the category of non-maintenance fodder to the animals, and they are not productive and they are no use. So it means we have to scale up our fodder supplies. It can be scaled up by using fodder banks, feed conversion of fodder into feed blocks, and because excess fodder may be there, and we have to conserve it for at the time of the lean periods. Growing perennial fodder trees, fodder grassing, going for the staggered planting. Wherever I go, I adamantly recommend that go for the staggered planting. Staggered planting means at the intervals of 15 days, because if we have a field, we have to divide it in the blocks, and we have to go for the at the interval of 15 days. We don't sow the fodder at the same time in the whole. For example, we have a 2 canal area. If our farmer has 2 animals with 2 young ones, 2 canal area is an appropriate for it. So when we are talking about 2 canal area, then we have to cut it into blocks, so that we have go for the 15 days interval. Then we cut it in half canal area, half canal, like, you know, we have to divide it in 4 parts, and like rotational grazing, rotational sowing of the fodder, so that it can extend it. That's very important. And then we can go for the feed and forage system, and then we legume integrate, because another reason for our animals weakness is they are using unbalanced diet. There should be integration between legume and cereal. That is very important. Legume integration is very important. So we have to also like coffee plus sorghum plus coffee, maize plus coffee, you know, like we are eating cereals and pulses. So this is also very important. We have to go for hydroponic fodders, supplement fodder like azolla cultivation, azolla preserving fodder, silage and haymaking. We can switch to different sources of the fodder like perennial grasses, centrus, napier, kikwa, guinea, fodder tree like sesbania, lub, lupin, desmodium, different. And we have an hilly areas, and we have a problem of drainage basin, different catchment areas. So it's a greater scope for watershed. There are a lot of projects on watershed management, and we can use these boundaries for the fodder production, and the pit for the azolla cultivation. And hydroponic fodder, there is a this is the hydroponic fodder. And no, if we have to go for the organic fodder production, a package I am giving here, I think it's very important, useful for the farmer who are planning for organic fodder production. So सबसे पहले we are talk about site selection. When we are talking about growing our own organic fodder, there should be an isolation distance of 5 meters between organic and inorganic land, first thing. Then distance between 2 bunds of organic plot should be 1 meter wide. Irrigation should be nearby, because if the irrigation is far place, and it may be contaminated with lot of chemicals, and we have no control, and this is very important. Irrigation should be nearby. So these are the things which the inspection parties come and observe and certified. Then after that satisfaction, they certified the farmers. So choice similar in the case of breeds. In case of crops also, there should be the crops should be, the fodder should be adopted to that particular condition. They are naturally resistant. Planting material should be chemical origin, but if they are not available, then we have not to go for the chemical treatment. So genetically engineered seed pollens, they are not allowed. And if we are going for the seed treatment, we can use trichoderma, neem extract, trichoderma at the rate of 5 gram per liter of water, neem extract at the rate of 5%. And when we are talking about nutrient management of plant, then farmyard manure, poultry manure, compost manure, vermicompost, different sources are available. We can use it. Weed persistent disease control can be maintained in the fodder production by integrated organic management technique, preventive cultural techniques, mulches, companion planting, using of trap crops, encouraging natural enemies, promoting the use of GE animals and product like biological origin like vermiculture, vermivaj, dashparni, panchkavya, madgagad. They have a different potential of growth regulatory, as well as they act as a biopesticides. So these are the different sources of the nutrient. And no, it again told you 30% dry matter come from the pasture, 30% portion is a great portion. And so we commercially we have to grow fodder, as well as we have to think about the how we can manage pasture, because our pastures, they are not managed well in whole India as well as in J&K. So we have to think about it, because pastures, they are very important, because we have a lot of the population is nomadic population, Bakkarwal, Gujarwal, they are landless livestock keepers, and they move from here and there, and for those people also pastures are very important. And barren uncultivated land, they can be utilized in grasslands, and like 30% dry matter certified organic pastures, it is a requirement. Again, I am told you that this is very important. And it also protect our soil from erosion and maintain the soil health, beside maintaining the diversity. And pasture, it is a domesticated grasslands, and we talk about types at natural and sown. Natural pastures can be maintained, and if we are sowing, then we have to give some interventions. So when we talk about their scope, and it has been in this slide, we can see that the 36 million tons of fodder get added if we maintain our pastures. So pasture management, that is important, and this slide is important for us, because we for maintenance of pastures, we can go for reseeding, because there is a high stock population of goats, and when they browse, and they just completely finish those areas na. So we have to reseed those areas, we should reseed those areas, we should have gross legume balance. Weed management is very important in pastures, because if some obnoxious weeds enter, they eradicate the whole pasture. That is very important, that we go for weed management, we go for good grazing management. And hortipastural and silvipasture system should be developed and encouraged, and pasture development should be also done in nomadic routes. So these are the different reseeding pasture techniques. Regeneration of grasses, grassing, natural reseeding, native and indigenous species should be introduced. Grass legume balance is there, and important grasses which can be recommended for J&K, there are different grass, lolium ho gaya, Flaris, Dactylus glometra, Fetusae, and important species of legumes like Comilla, Lupinus, lotus, different, right, trifolium repens. And weed management, some problematic weeds, they are strippas, rumex, cardas, euphorbia, these should be managed. And how to manage proper grazing, overgrazing should be refused. Proper grazing means when the stubbles remain 10 centimeter at least from the earth, we should remove our animals, which we 10 centimeter stubble should be remain for the grasses. We have to protect new seedlings, we have to move from time to time, we have to remove horses, because they are the voracious eaters, they destroy the pastures. And we should manage our pastures by controlled grazing, fencing, rotational grazing, and management intensive grazing. These are different pictures showing the rotational grazing, where we cut our pastures into different wards and move the animals time to time and duration wise, so that our pastures get the time to regenerate again. So this is because our country as well as the northern hilly areas, they are rich in pastoral system, horticulture system. Then we can introduce pastures in terms of hortipastoral system. We can utilize our orchards, barren land. Silvipastoral systems is also promoted in our J&K and other hilly areas, and we can introduce different grasses. And these are the different perennial grasses and legumes which can red clover, white clover, which are very much suitable for the hilly areas. And this is nomadic roots. We can use this drinking water for the nomadic peoples. We encourage them. They are also shifting towards, they are leading their professions. This is very much shocking for us, because they are also very useful people for us. So they help a lot in our economy growth. So we have to gain their confidence. For that, we have to maintain their roots, we have to maintain the drinking water facilities there, we have to make more shelters there, so that they get confident and they don't leave their profession. So some of the future research strategies, as deal with arable forage production is dividing our pastures and growing them according to agroclimatic zones, going strictly to conservation strategies for making hay and silage, encouraging short duration forage crops like turnip, mustard, etc., and enhancing forage production from problematic soils, and forage farming system based on water shed management approaches. So this is all about fodder and forage production. So one of the natural farming, I have given this slide here because if organic farming, the farmer has to put some like vermicompost, he has to purchase vermicompost, which he thinks is a costly, and he can purchase this farmyard manure, also costly. This is a trial, one of the trial of in our division, and I am working on it, where we have gone for natural farming, and the fodder, they are also very much responding to this natural farming, because in natural farming, what the formulation, it is a 4 basic pillars where we use some formulation like Jeevamrit, Bijamrit, and we can also promote here mulching, that is what is Vatapsa and Vahapsa. Here we have to balance soil moisture as well as air circulation. So here in natural farming, one of the principle is that we have to give mulching to our this one crop production. So Bijamrit, these are the different ingredients, are very meager for Bijamrit. If we talk about Bijamrit, then we have just mixed soil. Soil is soil because it's rich in microbial soil of the old banyan tree or neem tree. We have go to the that tree which is very old, and in the root area of it we can take our soil, not more, it's just one pinch of the soil, or one for proportion of Bijamrit, and we can use here basin we can use, and water use, and good use we can use here. So this is for Bijamrit. Bijamrit means a treatment for seeds. If we treat like we are using Ajadrictra and neem cake, so Bijamrit is very cheap one. It is very cheap one. When we use Bijamrit, it is not costly. It is very sustainable. Farmer can bring it from its home too. So no dependency on the external inputs. Similarly, the case of Jeevamrit, we can use here cow dung, cow urine, besan, good. This is the main ingredients of Jeevamrit. Jeevamrit means when the foliage comes out, then we have to spray. First, we have to spray at 5%, then we have to increase 7.5%, then 10%, then 12%. And the schedule is that we after 10 days we can in the fodder, because most the forage is important. After 10 days, we can go for this Jeevamrit spray. It can provide nitrogen to the because cow urine has a lot of nitrogen, cow dung is there, and they help to provide nitrogen to our fodder, as well as they build slowly and gradually, they build up organic carbon, and organic carbon is we know the depleting day by day, so it's a need of the ore. We can go for the organic carbon built up of our soil. So these formulations are very important. I personally I'm doing that, and it's very cheap. This is the main thing, is this is very cheap ingredients, then farmer can easily use these. So coming again to the organic goat farming, and another issue is health care and medicines. So preventive vaccines, they are allowed in organic farming, and they are used when disease is epidemic. Genetically engineered vaccines are not allowed. No antibiotics is allowed, but if the goat is suffering badly, then we can use antibiotics, and withdrawal periods should be of minimum 5 days when we have to sell the things of it. But we have to label that we can't say it is 100% organic, then we have to say that it's 75%, and what proportion we have used of our medicine. It should be clearly written on the label. And only one chemical allopathic treatment is allowed for livestock for which the production period is less than 1 year. And dewormer must not be given 90 days before milk production. These are the some health standards which we have to manage. For deworming parasitic control, what things we can use? We can go for the condensed tannins, combination of grasses, legumes, and weeds because tannins, they have an ability to bind parasites, and then the parasites are not able to reproduce. Some tannins rich food like leaves of oak, bear, jamun, gawa, mango, kachnat, they can be given to the goat. Chicory can be given, sainfoin, lotus, bird's foot trefoil, that can be act as a natural dewormer, as well as they can control the parasites. And the saponins, they are also useful to control protozoa growth like euca, Culeza. Saponin containing forage can be encouraged like Antirolibum and Sesbania. Fruits saponin containing saponin like sapinus, sapindus can be given. Some legume forages which are rich in tannins and saponin like sola, sainfoin, bird's foot, macua, they can be given to the goat for its intestinal parasite management. And if we talk about what type of house is given for organic goats, then it is said that the more indoor area, less indoor areas, more outdoor areas, movements are there, exercise is there, ample access of air and ventilation is there. The flock should be maintained. Social behavior is there. No caging, tethering is not allowed in organic goat. Mobile houses in poultry. And if we talk about what is the size of the stable in indoor animal, it is 1.5 square meter per goat and 0.35 square meter per kid. And if we talk about outdoor runs, it is 2.5 square meter for goat and 0.5 square meter for kids. And I have already told you in the procedures that one of the important component in organic goat farming is the record keeping, which the farmer also think that's very hectic, but it's very necessary because it is a label term, and the data record is very important for it. And record must be understandable and available for inspection. This is what to be addressed to the farmers. Records include identification, which type of breed is used, whether it was born on the same farm or purchased, what type of health records have been used. I have already told, when we are feeding antibiotic, it should be clearly written so that the certifying agency decide what type of label should be given to the farmer. And feed information, what type of feed has been given, what are the ingredients of the feed, how much amount of pasture grazing is allowed to the farmer, all should be clearly written in the records. And the standards, they are also given regarding processing of the goat products. For example, when we talk about processing, organic meats may not come in contact with the non-organic meats. No synthetic materials may be used during the processing. These are because organic should be from the grower to the consumer plates. So all the steps which involved from grower to the consumer place should be addressed so that our consumer get purely organic, or what type of organic it's getting, 75% organic and 90% organic. Even the slaughtering has been taken into consideration, that a painful slaughtering is avoided in front of goats in organic conditions. In front of goat, another goat cannot be cut and slaughtered. This is also mandatory in this. And storage, transportation, processing, labeling, all should be taken care of. Co-mingling shall be prevented. Pest control is through physical barriers, sound and light, and irradiation is not allowed. Processing method should be mechanical, physical and biological. Packaging material should be eco-friendly and biodegradable. Labeling shall convey clear and accurate information on the organic status of the product, that I have already told you, because for this labeling we have to keep our labeling is at the end, and for that we have to keep our records very clear what we have used. And one important terminology used in organic production, whenever we are used for organic product, conversion period is very important terminology. Conversion period, we can say it is a transition period when our product is changing from inorganic to organic, and it depends upon the different what type of thing is going to convert. If we talk about fodder and grassland conversion period, it usually takes 2 years until your farm is eligible for organic status. If the farmer is growing organic fodder, at least 2 year history, first the history of the farm is taken into consideration. If if the hilly area farmers, that are organic by default, then we can say that only, okay, you're organic by default by your history, and we can still, they have to have a conversion period of 1 year. But mostly when we are, generally it is 2 year for most of the farms for fodder and grassland conversion period. For years like Punjab and Haryana, which are more using very huge amount of pesticides and all that, and that areas, they have the 3 to 5 years time scale of conversion period of their farm, and 12 months for the pig and poultry, and 2 years for land intended for goat grazing. And conversion period for goat, whenever what the time period our goat takes when we are converting them from inorganic to organic. Already I've told you, pastures 24 months, and milk, cows, sheep, goats 6 months conversion periods, and small ruminants 6 months conversion period. 6 months of conversion period is required. And if your young stock has to be purchased from conventional farms, the maximum age at the time of purchase is 45 days, not more than that. If the animal, this kid, young stock has some precautions, 45 days of the age. And for the kids, just after weaning, we can bring it in our farm, and it can be considered as an organic. Every year, 20% of the female breeding stock of small ruminants can be purchased from conventional farms. If they're not available from organic farms, this can be taken, this can be permitted. But for the case of the male breeding stock borrowed from conventional farms can be used. There is no restrictions for buying of the male breeders, no? But they have to provide all those feeding standards, breeding standards, and health standards that should be maintained for that. For full organic meat, first we are talking about conversion. That is full organic. When we say that the full organic meat is there, raised from a full organic meat and fiber goat must be raised from the last third gestation to slaughter. It starts from the last third gestation. Okay, when we're talking about full organic. For milk animal, they must be raised organic for the previous 12 months. That we say that is a full organic milk. And no prohibited substance has been applied for 36 months prior to full certifications. That is full organic. This is the mandatory things for the full organic. I have already told you that there are some accreditation agencies which have an authority to announce certifying agencies. APIDA is our export agency which deals with the organic trade, export trade. Coffee board is there, spice, some boards are there like coffee, spice, tea, coconut, and Directorate of Cashew and Cocoa Development. They deal with accreditation. They are accreditation agencies. Certifying agencies which act as a third party agencies, 35 in number. Some important agencies are some familiar agencies, they're EcoCert, IndoCert, Lecnogum, IMO, SGS. They are some prominent certifying agencies in India, and these are the organic logos. Some of the countries like in India organic, Japan ka organic, and Canada ka organic, different, Australia organic. So these are the different organic logo given to the when the full organic procedure is followed, then this organic logo has been given to our animal, goat or fodder, whatever the farmer want to grow organic.